on creating. Have you guys created AWS account?
Myself, I created. This is Balaji. Myself, I created AWS account and creating the EC2 instance in that.
So you created AWS account, right?
Yeah.
So as you created AWS account, so you can do practice of creating VPC. We will launch EC2 instance in next next 2-3 class. Then you will do all this VPC. Will do this exercise and you can do that. So till now we have covered VPC. Till now we have discussed about VPC. We have discussed about Route 53. So now again Route 53. So Route 53 is a DNS provider, means domain name system provider, and it has doing domain registration. It has doing health check monitoring also, and it can be done traffic routing also. See, Route 53 is a DNS, and DNS is a domain name system. Wherever your website is running on web, whenever you click on that particular URL, it's converted into IP. So today we'll talk about how we'll do routing via Route 53. So once you create a domain on AWS, or you are using your existing domain like um, trainingacademy.com or example.com. So once you create the hosted zone on your domain, such as example.com, you can create resource repository subdomains. Like you have example.com, you can create mail.example.com, you can create portal.example.com. That's a record set you are creating. So for subdomains, basically you want to choose the routing policy. Routing policy is what basically whenever a user connects to your website, you will tell him that where or which EC2 instance or data center he need to go. Why we are doing this actually? Why we need to do that? Because you know that when we are doing yahoo.com from India, it will automatically showing yahoo.in, because yahoo.com DNS got that your client IP, and client IP is from India. So doing the load balancing or routing balancing, it redirected you to yahoo.in domain. Same way you can create your routing policy via Route 53. So choosing a routing policy means when you create a resource record set, you need to choose record routing policy. So four, five types of routing policy we have. First one is simple routing policy. First one is simple routing policy. So simple routing policy means when you have a single resource that perform a function on your domain, web server or whatever, like example.com, DNS query based on that particular routing policy and converting into IP. That's very simple. Means by default routing policy. When you do example.com, it will convert to IP. It will give you all web page information, and you are able to log in on your website and see the content of that website. That's a simple routing policy. No diversion, no conversion, nothing. So by default routing policy, whenever you hosted your domain on Route 53 or any other DNS service provider. Second is weighted routing policy. Why we are doing this? Suppose you have good infrastructure in your US West data center and less infrastructure, or you can say less usage instances on US East, and your website is geographically used across the world. So weighted policy, multiple resource, you have multiple resource that perform same function. For example, web server that you want to bring in Route 3, how traffic should flow, right? Whenever user request came to your Route 53, you mentioned that 80% traffic coming on US West because I have much resources on US West location, and 20% traffic coming on US East because I have less resources on US East location. So you know your AWS data center, you know your resources, where is less, where is more. Then accordingly you can set that policy. Means you are not doing load balancing, you are not doing auto scaling, you are doing traffic routing on the basis of your DNS, because connection is coming from DNS. So DNS can easily redirect you where you want. So this policy is widely used in our market. People are using it because it's very simple to address. Only you need to route the traffic to various data center according to your resources. So this is a weighted routing policy. You are defining the weight, traffic, where to go and how much. Second is latency routing policy. See, we have various data centers, suppose, or maybe availability zones for servers, US East and EU West something. So every data center has certain bandwidth and certain latency. So here in this routing policy, you can divert your connection according to latency. Like in this diagram, I mentioned one South African user accessing. So where to go? Where is the less latency? Like 54 millisecond the latency on EU West 1, and 300 millisecond latency in US East 1. So on the basis of latency, it will go to lowest latency. So like latency is getting changed, depend on bandwidth, depend on network on that particular data center. So while implementing this policy, DNS or Route 53 make sure that connection will go with low latency area and it will give faster result to user. Widely used policy is weighted policy, but sometimes whenever we have a latency type of issues on data center, then we can implement this policy also, so that user will not face any slowness or latency issue on their system. Third is failover routing policy, only for public hosted zone. Whenever you choose your VPC first option, create VPC with public hosted zone, then you can do this policy. This is failover routing policy. Failover nothing but it's a high availability kind of concept we are doing on Route 53 site. You need to configure active passive site. Once one site is not available, other connections should be redirected to passive site. So it's a very simple mention here in diagram. Whenever user connection happens, somehow US East data center goes down, then it will automatically redirect to EU West 1. Like, see, you maintain your high availability for on connection or on network basis itself. You have two particular data center, US East 1 and EU West 1. You just created active passive concept. If this is active, go to passive. If this is down, go to this kind of very simple active passive policy. Next is geolocation routing policy. Geolocation, basically I talked about that. If you do yahoo.com, it will automatically going to yahoo.in. So in this diagram I am mentioning here, we have one European customer and you have US customers also. And you have two data center, US East 1 and EU West 1. Everybody is connecting to example.com. They are not sure where the server resides. Means anyway, they should not bother about where the server resides. But European customer will from Europe is doing example.com. It is going to US EU West 1. And when US customer is doing example.com, it's going on US East 1. So it's a geolocation routing policy. According to your client location, you are getting result from nearest data center. So these are the policy you can implement in Route 53 as per your need. Simple policy, weighted policy, latency policy, failover policy, or geolocation policy. So on a network layer, or you can say DNS layer, you can easily implement these things. And then in data center, you can implement load balancing, auto scaling, whatever you want to do. But traffic routing is very important concept introduced by Amazon, AWS via Route 53. So that's why they are encouraging to use Route 53, where you can do health check monitoring, you can do domain registration also, and you can do traffic routing, DNS service also. So that's a little bit more about routing and Route 53 configuration. I will upload this PPT, you can take a look. That's a theoretical concept. It's very easy to implement on Route 53. So next, basically, we after this VPC and Route 53, will move towards storage concept. So any question till now? Anybody has any question? So as you guys created that AWS account, okay. So as you guys created AWS account, you can log in and you can go on this DevOps box concept, like your services, and whatever service you want to use, you can click it. So till now, networking concept we have covered, like VPC and Route 53. Third one is Direct Connect. What is Direct Connect? Let's talk about that. See, whenever you have a concept where you have a your local data center and you opted to move your servers on AWS. So suppose you have a 10 application running on your for your business, 5 is already running on your local data center and 5 you move to AWS, and you want to data you want to make connection from your AWS servers and local data center. So for that you can use this direct connect functionality. You can make a dedicated network connection from your premises of AWS, from your premises to AWS. It's very simple to maintain here. It's a kind of plug in plug out where you need to mention your like connection name. You can mention I have a Mumbai data center I have choose here, means when I created the account. So that's why it's showing the location, these and these two Mumbai locations. You can go and you can create it. And by this basically you see in VPC concept also we discussed that you can make a direct connection between your data center and AWS. It's very simple to create because you can open for virtual gateway. You can create a virtual private gateway between your local data center, Amazon site, and VPN terminal. So your network guy, whenever you do migration and all, network guy will tell you where the VPN, local VPN, and you can configure all these things here. So by this you can get connected to your local data center with AWS. That's a direct concept, direct connection introduction. So next we'll go on storage and content delivery. Storage basically, as per our topic. See, as I told you, AWS is giving DevOps concept. It has network, it has storage, it has servers, it has database, it has content delivery, it has caching service, it has notification service, it has queue service, it has monitoring service also like CloudWatch. It has auto scaling, it has load balancing. So basically, if you that's why people are going on AWS, because everything it is providing. So now coming to storage. So how many type of storage we have in Amazon? That's Amazon PPT I'm using here because it has good concept of storage and all. So traditionally on premises storage, if you are aware, we have three distinguished types. One is SAN. SAN is basically storage area network. Second is DAS, direct attached storage, and NAS, network attached storage. So these are we are using generally in your local data center. So SAN is a network attached block device. You called on LUNs. DAS is local block device called disk, and NAS is network attached file system, which basically same as your SATA drive of 1 TB 500 something. You connect it from your laptop or desktop. That's a network attached storage. Every storage has different performance, durability, and cost, and depend upon scenario you are using these storage with your servers. So that's a traditional storage concept when what we are using in local data center before AWS. Now coming to cloud storage. Cloud storage basically offers multiple cloud-based storage solutions. First is Amazon S3. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. Second is EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. Third is ephemeral storage. It's not where it's a local storage of server, because whenever you launch your Windows server or Linux server or any other operating system server, it will create C drive of our Windows and maybe root drive, temp drive, other essential devices for Linux. So that's a local instance storage we anyway need. Each has a unique combination of performance, durability, cost, anyway we are aware. So we will more talk about S3 and EBS, because S3 and EBS is widely used on AWS. So other than EBS, S3, there are many other resources: CloudFront, RDS, SimpleDB, SQS. These are basically another or supporting storage solution provided by AWS. Let's talk about some S3 and EBS comparison. And local stand here basically when you are using your local data center and creating IBM server or x86 server or any other servers and attaching storage VNX, VMX, EMC Square, NetApp, whatever. So when we talk about S3, it has unlimited storage. You can upload 5 TB objects, that's the size, and 100 buckets you can create. So let me show you S3, then you will have a more idea. When I click here on S3, S3 is nothing but my local folder. Like when I am using my Windows Explorer, and I have my documents, I have one folder. So this kind of concept basically here in AWS S3. You can use this particular S3 for your static content, your SVN kind of repository kind of thing. You can use for web content, you can use for static content, we talk about more. It's a folder concept. Folder means on web you are creating folders. Like you can go and you can create any new folder like CS web X1 to the data center. It's a data center independent and create it. So I have created folder. I can easily go on this folder and upload any particular file from my local Windows drive. I can upload this file, open. It can be video, it can be audio, it can be file, it can be PDF, it can be any extension. And start upload. It's uploaded. So it's so simple to manage the buckets. So here we are talking about buckets. Whenever you do folder, it is bucket. So we'll talk about access and all, why install properties, how to manage, how to give access by IAM, identity and access management. And you can give this simple link to anybody after giving access. Click on that. But when you click on that, it will don't have access. So you need to manage permissions. You can add a permission to everyone or any authorized AWS user to open, download, view permission. Or you can give to everyone for now, because I have not created IAM for this. And you click on this, it will open you that file. It's all web-based storage and web-based access. You can store anything on S3 and you can access via web if you have access given on that folder or file, means bucket or file. So there is an icon, this one is showing as bucket for S3. So we were talking about S3 and EBS difference. So you have 5 TB objects on S3. You can have 1 TB per volume. Volume means that's the file system you can think of, or LUNs you can think of. And 44 TB you can attach with one server. That much limit around defined by AWS for storage. And in local, basically, you must have seen on Windows, you have C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, G drive, something, 5 drive you can create, and you can have 1690 GB on local. Durability point of view, if we talk about S3 is 99.999999 means 99% available. And if I talk about EBS, it's a block storage, block-wise storage happening. You have 0.1 to 0.5 annual failure ratio, AFR. So what is that? Basically 0.1% this gets fail in a year, and you have anyway snapshot and other things to recover that, but just we are talking about durability. Local has ephemeral storage. Ephemeral is an internal storage. You are creating storage internally and you are attaching to certain servers. It's all designed as a formal. Local redundancy you are doing means RAID type of structure. RAID. S3 is basically SVN. If I talk about latency, its latency is high because it's not for read write or you can say transactional applications. But EBS is for transactional applications, so it's low. Means latency is low. Local is anyway local, so you have very low latency. Management wise, if we talk about S3 has zero maintenance, you can see I have uploaded one file, there is nothing. You go action and you can delete this file, no problem. Okay, you can delete it. So very easy to manage, very easy to upload, very easy to do management. So zero maintenance. But in EBS basically you need to create a snapshot, you need to create rate consistency, and locally you have to manual redundancy. S3 is basically region centric. EBS is aged means availability zone specific. Aged means whenever we talk about aged, it's availability zone. And local basically anyway in machine. Interface you can use for web services, REST and SOAP. And EBS is a block device and local is also a block device. So this particular diagram is giving you various differentiation of EBS and S3 storage. Now let's describe S3. S3 is basically simple storage service where you pay exactly what you use. It's highly durable, limitlessly scalable like I told you, 5 TB object, 100 buckets you can create. And natively online, everything is online. I clicked here online. I see this is S3 AP South 1 Amazon AWS, my bucket, and then my file. So it's online. And that's the icon of S3, like bucket. So how it's pay per use concept, like I have created folder. I can create multiple folders here, hundreds folders. So whenever these folders getting access from my local or getting access over web, it creates IO. So on the basis of input output, AWS will charge me for this S3 service. So when to use S3? What is S3 best practice? Whenever you have metadata, means static data. Suppose this particular file, what I uploaded on AWS, it is a static file. It is PPT, one PPT. So I can upload on S3 because there is no change I will do on this particular PPT. So I can easily upload on AWS S3 location. Parallel IO is happening for max speed, like one way I am uploading, one way I am reading. One bucket I am uploading, one bucket I am reading, another bucket I am creating. So that's a parallel IO, multi-part upload. You can also do that. Sorted writes means it has already internally sorting kind of storage for giving you faster result. And you can do resource level IAM permission for in buckets. Who can access your bucket, who cannot access your bucket, that you can decide via identity access management permissions. We'll talk about that. So S3 use cases and users. When to use S3? Whenever you have media serving, see these icons right side what I mentioned, they are using S3. Media serving, media sharing means I want to share one file with you, so that time I can use S3. File storage, any type of backup I need to store, you can use S3. Static content, I have no changes on that particular content very frequently, you can use S3. Big data means you have dumping data, means there is no changes on data. Big data concept where data volume is high but there is no transactional. So it's a big data, you can store in S3. So simple concept as wherever you have static content like SVN, one Java code you have created with version 1.0, you can upload in S3. Second Java code you have updated version 2.0, you can upload on S3. Versioning you can maintain and you can easily store. But if you have a database, then you should not store in S3 because it has read-write operation, it has intensive transactional happening on that database. So for these things you need to go for EBS. Whenever you talk about transactional, means some DMLs happening, some write happening, some read happening on same time, then go for block device, elastic block storage. Whatever you are using, pay for it. It has native redundancy, optimized random write read. PO6 is a compliant basically for network level. So EBS is compliant of PO6. PO6 we will see. EBS best practice basically pre-warming. Pre-warming means it's already active. Snapshots you can take. Striping means if you have a block of 8K, it will try to store data in 8K. RAID 0, it is doing striping, means uniform distribution of your data so that access is really fast. And block device mapping, block by block it's getting used and block by block it gets access. So it's a highly transactional application, you can use EBS. When to use EBS basically? Whenever you have application hosting, when you have data processing, when you have database, or when we have large data. When you have database, that's the most important thing. When you creating EC2 instance and installing Oracle database, then you need to attach a EBS storage on it, and all your database files should go on that particular EBS storage so that you can manage application with high read-write operation with transactional application. Ephemeral storage basically is more about your local storage, root file system, temp file system. It's free with EC2 instance. Whenever you create any instance on any server, anyway you need root file system. So it's already free with EC2 instances. Zero network overhead, local direct storage actually, high performance and sequential read write. So these are ephemeral or you can say local storage. Better together one slide here, cross system patterns. So discussing about this basically, elastic block storage and S3. You create a snapshot of elastic block storage. Snapshot you need to upload on S3. Simple DB where metadata we have, you can upload on S3. Caching you can upload on S3. So that's the cross system patterns. Means kind of use cases. So in which scenario, which storage you need to use? Let's talk about that. depend on scenario, you can use S3, you can use EBS, but S3 is mainly for static online content, media server, backup, big data, centralized resources. EBS is for database, data warehouse. If Thermal is anywhere root file system, temp, and all local file system. So that's the brief about what is S3, EBS. So any question till now?
Hey, hi, Chandan.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah, this is Pawan.
Yeah.
Do we have any storage limit for this?
For which S3?
Yeah, S3 and EBS.
No storage limit actually. I mentioned in this. 5 TB objects you can create in S3
Okay.
and 1 TB volume on EBS. Means I can attach one LUN with 1 TB, and if I need more, I can attach more LUN. More EBS volume.
So do Amazon Web Services charges for this storage thing if we store files continuously?
They are charging for it. See,
Okay.
imagine for EBS, whatever size you will take for EBS, they will charge, and also they will charge on IO basis, input output operation happening on this.
No, for practice sessions, like we need to practice on Amazon Web Services. So if I upload some file in S3, do they charge anything for that, or is it okay?
No,
No, right?
till some limit you will not charge,
Okay.
but beyond the limit, I will tell you. I'm showing you this thing. Free tire. So as you
Okay.
have created your, this is free tire account. Okay.
Yes.
So free tire has some limitations. Particular storage you can use, means S3 anyway you can use. See, AWS is giving you free tire for 12 months. Okay. When you
Okay.
create the account, sign up your account. 750 hours per month for Linux EC2 instances. 5 GB storage you can use on Amazon S3, that is free. It has 20,000 get requests, 20,000 put requests. Means whenever you have S3, you are putting something like I put earlier, and you are accessing something. So put means I am putting, and get means I am accessing. So 5 GB storage you can do, and 20,000 times you can get and put. Okay, 20,000
Okay.
times you can get, 2,000 times you can put. That's a free. On RDS also you can use 750 hours, 20 GB DB storage free. And then I think 100 lakhs IOS is free. See, very simple concept of AWS. They are giving you services, and also they are charging for input output.
Okay.
Whatever transaction input output happening on your service, they are calculating it, and they are giving charge for it. Okay, so that's the free
Okay.
tire account. I will upload one link page also on this training drive, so that you can, so this link I will upload. You can go and you can check a look more.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So let me show you how billing you can see. So this is my account. Okay. If I click here and there everything, and I need to check my billing. So click your name and go to billing and cost management. So it will give you a picture of billing, how much billing monthly in your account. So I don't have any billing as of now in my free tier account because I have not used beyond the free service. I have put something as 3, like see, month per date 40%, some percent I have get, some IO happened. So it will give you all picture what you have used and what you are billed. So whenever you think that you clicked on various services, so check your billing by billing in cost management. Okay. So free tier we discussed, free tier account. Free tier is basically for learning purpose or non-business operations. Like EC2 you can use, S3 you can use, RDS you can use, some other services also you can use. Any more question?
Do we use the same management console for configuring the voice over IP application?
Voice over IP application means you want to deploy on AWS.
Yes, sir, exactly.
So what software you are using on local for this?
So suppose, Amin sir, I just wanted to know, can we deploy AWS on a Cisco IAD or something like that to configure VoIP applications, or on Cisco Meraki switches?
See, we need to search for parallel means anyway you have servers or something. See, AWS is not for any particular voice over IP or for SAP software or for CRM software.
Okay, okay.
AWS is providing infrastructure as a service.
Okay.
1 second. AWS is providing infrastructure as a service. If you
Okay.
think you software, once you create your EC2 instance, your software can install on that particular EC2, like your voice office software you can install on EC2, then anyway you can use it. We are
Okay,
talking
sir.
here
Okay.
only for servers, storage, database, and web services.
Okay,
AWS
sir.
just okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Any more questions? Okay, so this PPT what I have mentioned here, I will upload it and you can take a look. And as I shown you that you can create your S3 bucket. You guys can try on your S3. Click on S3, create your bucket and try to upload any particular file from your local drive. Means local drive I am talking, laptop, your desktop, whatever. And see if it get uploaded or not and do some deletion, permission, this exercise what I am showing you. So see, you can imagine how simple it is. Just created a bucket, uploaded this file, and you are able to access over there. So what are the scenarios we can use S3? So let's talk about this. So whenever you have versioning concept, like you have a deployment or you have web servers, you have some Java code or .NET code. So you can upload your all Java code, .NET code, what you have on your B drive or C drive or Linux system, whatever, wherever. So you can easily go create buckets, upload versions folders, and access it. And if you want to give to access to another guys, other team members, you can give access. You can do sharing. We'll discuss about it this in identity and access management. It's very simple. So you can create your own SVN, means repository. You can create your code versioning. You can create your files. You can upload your static content of website. That also you can use on S3. And it's so simple to get used S3. So do some practice on S3, create a bucket, do upload folder, delete folder, and whatever. Then later on we'll discuss about permissions and all. So this is all about S3. It's very simple. And S3 EC2 RDS we'll talk about later on for other services also, because this is very simple and very widely used. Another storage we have other than S3 and EBS, it's Glacier. See, AWS has doing lot of research before introducing any service. Customer scenarios, customer case studies they have done, then only they have launched the services. In any particular business, you have three type of files. One is database, where you have highly transactional, your read-write operation happening, all transaction is happening on database. Another is your supporting files like SVN, your code, your personal data or your project data, your documents, your version management, software code versions and all. So for this is S3. And last is your dump data. Means you are doing your development of your website from last 5 years and you want to keep it only latest year files on S3 and not for last 4-year files. So you can upload your dump data, your archiving on this Glacier. It's low cost as compared to S3 and EBS. So whenever you have low use data, means no use of data on recent days, then you can go and upload in Glacier. It's very simple. It's like S3. You can go, you can create your vault means access thing. You can do tar, zip and all these things, video, document. See, data storage Amazon Glacier is archives. Archive can be data such photo, video, document. You can upload a single file as an archive or aggregate, or you can upload tar file, zip file, whatever you want. Single archive can have 40 terabyte. They will charge for it. Means whatever things you are putting here in Glacier, they will charge for it, but charges is less as compared to S3 and EBS, because you are not widely used that particular thing. See, archiving is very simple thing. Archiving is immutable, meaning you will not update it so frequently or you will not access it so frequently. So remember, in Glacier, whatever you are putting, you are not accessing so frequently, because it's not for that particular storage. It is for archiving. It is for dumping. So you can create your vault and all event notification you can set and you can review. It's very simple. It's the same as you create a folder and upload all your videos on that. Suppose you have a marriage video or whatever things you can upload on folder and you forget about it. Whenever you 1 year, 6 years, 6 months, 3 months you want to show to somebody, you go and access it. But you are not accessing so frequently. So whenever this kind of scenario happens, when data is not accessing so frequently, but you need to keep it somewhere, you can use this Amazon Glacier. So that's the concept. So basically we learned about three types of storage. One is S3, second is EBS, third is Glacier. S3 is for static content, metadata, backups, snapshots. EBS is specifically for transactional application, database, block level device. And Glacier is for archiving, dumping data, not a transactional application. In storage there is no icon for EBS, you can see, because EBS is associated with EC2. Because whenever you create your EBS, Elastic Block Storage, this one, it should be associated with one particular EC2 instance. You can easily create your volumes, like click on EC2 dash means click on EC2 and go for Elastic Block Storage. Click on volumes. It's very simple. If you know about storage concept, you know about LUNs, you know about file systems. You means if you worked on any type of storage, you are going and you are running fdisk command. You are doing storage allocation like 300 gig, 400 gig, 500 gig drives, LUNs, and then creating file system attaching to server. That we are doing traditionally in data centers. But here is very simple. It's a GUI base. Everything GUI base. So you click on volume and create volume. Create volume is saying it's general purpose. Whatever size you want, you can do 10 gig suppose, because I have a free tier is basically how much I have. I have 5 GB S3 and something EBS also, and 720 gig. Okay, 10 gig you do there. IOPS means input output processing. This by default, whatever you select volume type, it will reduce IOPS or update IOPS. Availability zones means EBS. You can go and you can create availability zone, whatever you want. Snapshot means backup of that particular drive. Snapshot which create volume means whenever you create a volume, you can create a snapshot, and it by default it creates a snapshot first time, because if this fail, then you can restore from snapshot. So snapshot is nothing but a disk backup. Encryption means you can enable encryption on your volume so that it will not access if you have a very confidential data. Very simple. Fill these fields and go to create. So it's creating. It's creating, so it's automatically assign a volume ID to your volume. It is 10 gigabyte It is general purpose 2. It has 100 to 3000 IOPS, and now it's available. So that is I have created. Now I need to attach this volume to some EC2 instance. So click on attach volume. Select your EC2 instance. I don't have EC2 right now. We'll create it and attach. And very simple to attach. Very simple to detach. Click on this, detach, delete. Snapshot you want to create, like you done some changes and you want to create a snapshot, you can do create snapshot, so that if this failure happen or some goof up happen, you can easily store from snapshot, and you can get snapshot here. I don't have any snapshot, so there's not showing to me, but if I create snapshot, you can define the volume and create a snapshot. Snapshot will show here what type of snapshot you have, and if you want to restore it, you can go and create volume, create image, modify permissions. So creating a snapshot is chargeable anyway, because 10 GB drive you have and you are creating snapshot of 10 GB, so it will occupy another 10 GB and it's stored somewhere in data center of AWS, so they will charge for it. But the concept, you need to understand the concept. You create the volume, you create the snapshot just for backup purpose. In case of any failure happen, you will restore that particular drive. Your data is safe. Okay, so it's very simple. You can see to create volume, to manage volume, to create snapshot on Elastic Block Storage, and very simple to manage S3. Any question till now? So till now we have discussed about something on S3, something on Glacier, something on EBS. We'll discuss more about EBS EC2 in tomorrow's class. We will start EC2. We'll discuss about EC2. So the point is, now we are getting pace in this training. So you guys have to do some exercise on your free cloud and do some S3 exercise, do some EBS exercise. Tomorrow we'll discuss about EC2, how to create EC2 instance, how to attach EBS, what the use of VPC, security group, how we access. So that will be very interesting. So be prepared for it. And if you don't have AWS free tier account, please go and create it today, so that we can able to discuss. And whatever PPT I am uploading, go through it. And if you have any question, we will discuss that. So now we are in pace. We will be doing all these things, practicals, creating EC2 instance of Windows, connecting EC2 instances, and as I told you, this all about infrastructure as a service. Once EC2 instance or Windows instance is created or Linux instance is created, it is same as your traditional server. You can go, you can install anything, and all licensing is lies with you. If you go and create any service or take any service, that license part taken care by AWS. Like if I go RDS and launches Oracle RDS, RDS means Relational Database Service. Then licenses with AWS. But I create EC2 instance and it's acting as same as my local server, and I go ahead and install Oracle software, then that license I need to manage. So remember, in EC2 whatever you are installing, license beared by you, your ownership. So we'll launch EC2 and all in tomorrow's class, and we'll discuss all these things. Okay. So any question till now, or we'll conclude for today? Very easy to delete. I created, I deleted. Because if I created and keep it, it will occupy my free tire scenario. So remember, whatever practice you are doing, this whatever practice you are doing, just repeat.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So we don't get charged for the violence created right away, right? There is any time limit for that one?
Sorry.
Is there any time limit? Is there any time limit? Now you created a volume and then you deleted after some time.
Yeah.
Do you get charged for that one?
No.
No.
See,
Is there a time limit?
that free tire account, you can create 5 GB storage.
So till 5 GB there is no problem.
Hello.
Okay.
And if you are using on your POC purpose, means testing purpose, use it and keep it till your testing going on, and once testing done, you can go ahead and delete it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay guys, so that's all about today's class. So we'll discuss more tomorrow. Okay. Thanks. Thank you. Bye bye.